Alright, so you missed your wrinkles, but it's okay. We did it before, so I'm going to put my texture. I'm going to put my new opacity in so I can see what that looks like. And there you have your wrinkles. Now if you want them to be lesser, you can take down some of the, well, it's, I don't know, I think it's going to look fine. But you can take down some of the opacity out too if they're a little too bumpy for you. Now, our jacket is going to cut some of these off because we're going to take our jacket down and bump it out. Okay, I'm going to add another layer. And on this layer, okay, she's just got a pink sash looking thing, but okay, I'm going to take on the layer, I'm going to go just underneath her skirt with my rectangle select. I'm going to pick our pink that we had. I'm going to play with some shades. I'm going to get a lighter shade of pink. Now, this is what I like to do. Anchor that. Duplicate your layer. I'm just going to pick the layer, just the color with my color select. And then I'm going to take some pinks, some lighter ones, and put them in there. And then maybe take a darker one, add some of those in, just to give a little bit of interest. Go to my blur, Gaussian blur. Now the reason is because when we Gaussian blur, see how it went transparent? Well, you're going to have your other colors underneath it, okay? So there's going to be other colors under here. You might want to blend them just a little bit more. You want some shade differentiation, but not a whole ton. And then now another thing that you could do also is if you wanted to, you can go to light and shadow, lighting effects. You can add a light. And that's probably too white of a light. Let's see. Should we show lighting effects? I'm going to make it a little less. Go to my layer, scale the layer. I'm going to click this and make each one 128. Put it over the top. Flip it horizontally, copy it, undo your flip, paste, put it next to the other one. It didn't do that. Okay, fine. It don't want to do it. So I'm going to duplicate my layer and flip my layer because it decided it didn't want to do it for me. So I'm going to make it do it, what I want it to do. Put it next to it, merge it, and now I'm just going to duplicate. They should already be seamless. Now, the only thing hard about this is seeing right where they're supposed to go. Right, I think right there. And it doesn't look like it's going to be seamless, but I'll fix that, so whatever. I'm going to make it do what I want it to do. How many of those are in there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there's 4 of them in there, so that's right. Okay, so I'm going to merge that down so that they're together. I'm going to make sure that they're all together. They are. I'm going to make this thing do what I want it to do, so I'm just going to Gaussian blur up a little bit to make them meet. Okay. Now you can merge the whole thing down with the bottom layer that it was on. And add a bevel. Go to layer, flip it vertically, and add another bevel. Go to layer, flip it back vertically. You have a bevel on each side. I'm going to cut off a little piece, copy it, paste it, because see it beveled the other edge. You don't want that. Even though this isn't going to show up, but just to get you used to it so you have seamless. This side already, see how this is dark? Isn't that seamless? So to make it seamless, if you wanted to, what you would do is cut it in half and flip one, okay? And it would make it seamless. You'd flip one and paste it. Now, or you can resize it and do the same thing. Now, go to your filters, go to your light and shadow, go to your drop shadows. You don't want black. Oh gosh, you're on a white. I'm going to go to a darker gray, and I'm only going to go 2. I'm going to see what 2 does. I'll repeat it. See how you got like a slight little shadow underneath it? Okay. That makes the belt appear to be a high definition belt. And it's kind of a sash belt, but now I'm going to see what it looks like before we go on, because if the lighting isn't placed right, I'm changing it. The belt is going to cover the lighting up, or the jacket. Do you know what I mean? Right there is. Now, if you want, you can put the the lighting in it, or just leave it as it is. It's up to you. And then but you can move that around because it's not going to show. Nothing in the back is going to show except for the bottom part of the skirt. All right. So you have to imagine this is the jacket coming down and curving. All right. Now, if it's up to you, but what we could do real quick here is we could add another layer. Let me find my middle. It's right there. I could just put some pink in there. Go to blur. Blur that up. And it gives you the appearance of a little bit of a light. Okay? Now, and actually, I would go like this and clear the pink off of these sides because it blurred outside the edges of the belt. Okay? So, alright, now that you did that, you can do it in anything you want. I'll show you real quick. I don't know if you've done this, if you've made a buckle. Have you made it like all by yourself? She showed you how to make a buckle. Okay. Okay. So if you want, what we could do is, I'll just show you real fast. We can do this. Okay, I'm going to take this, add an alpha channel. All you do is you go to your layer over here, your little layer box, right click it. Down here is add alpha channel. Then I'm going to take my color select, take my threshold all the way down. Nope, that ain't gonna work. See, because the shades in here, it's going to end up selecting some of that. But that's okay, because we can add it to it. Now all we have is shades of gray. So I don't want these little edges, so I'm going to take my eraser tool. It's that chain that you're seeing. So I'm going to go up, and I'm going to remove that little chain on both sides with my eraser tool. I want to make sure I get it all. And I'm probably going to have to recolor this, but so now I'm going to go here. I am on a new layer, I do believe. So go to my 50, make sure I was. Yeah. I am going to paste that in. Oh, this is what I was going to show you. I'm going to undo my paste. I'm going to make a new, go to advanced options, go to background color, transparency. I'm going to add another layer of transparency over the top of it. Copy and paste this over the top of that. Okay. Take my white paint. You're going to have to be careful with this. On that transparent bottom layer, that's probably too big, I am going to paint underneath it and bring me back those white pixels so I don't have a gray looking diamond. I will have a sparkly looking diamond. Oops, went a little too far over. Okay. Now I'm going to merge those together. Click the top one and merge it down so it's one layer. Copy this, and you can just paste it anywhere. I'm going to go to paste as instead of paste. I'm going to call it a new brush, and I'm going to call it a diamond circle. Enter. Go to my brushes. It's already on diamond circle. You want to make sure that you have it on the right size and in the middle. Bring it down just a tad. It's a little too much. And if you want, you can click it more than once. Just make sure you click it in the same spots or whatever. Once you get it in there, and actually you might want it to be a little bit bigger, maybe go over the top of the belt just a little bit. Okay, so over and under the belt. Just a little bit, because a belt buckle usually does go over the belt a bit. Okay, so now that you've done that, you're going to go to your filters. You're going to go back to light and shadow, your drop shadow. This time I'm going to go to pink because it's going to drop onto that pink. Let me find a nice shade of pink. Okay, there's a nice shade. And you're drop shadowing a deeper shade of pink. If you want, you can repeat your drop shadow, make it even darker. If you want Add another layer. Go to your rounded edge. I'm going to overlay. You can just add like a silvery look. Now on this one, let me see. I didn't have my opacity all the way up. That's what you were talking about with your paintbrush. I'll show you in a minute. If this is too dark for you, see how this is a very dark silver? Go to colorize, take your saturation down, and bring your lightness up, and give yourself a lighter silver that matches what you want. Okay? And then you have a little buckle. Let's see what that looks like. Which is not on the original fit, but it's cute. And that's considered original. It's considered because you made it into your own brush. So they will say that's original. Okay, so anything that you want to put on there that's a jewel or anything you can. As long as you add it like that. Now, have you did patterns? Did she show you how to add as a brush? A pattern, you do the same thing, only add as a pattern and you use it on bucket fill. You add it with bucket fill. Okay, so there would be your little belt buckle, and of course she's leaning so it doesn't look like it's in the middle, but it is in the middle, I'm pretty sure. Oh, and I forgot. You can also, where are we at? Did I lose it? No, there it is. Okay. You can also do this if it's still looking a little too gray for you or whatever, but you can do this. You can click that layer. I think it's this one. It is. So make sure you're on this layer, and you can go to your filters and enhance it and sharpen it. Make it, I have to find her. There it is. You can sparkle it up a little bit, and it lightens it up. It'll make it just a little more diamond look, but it also gives you some blacks. So it's up to you. It'll give you like lighter whites and darker grays. So be careful of how much you do it. Okay. All right, so that is the skirt part of our texture. Now, if you didn't have the jacket going over it, like you know, you would put little butt marks in here and everything too. But and I'm looking. If you want more of a hem to appear, you can add another layer. Well, actually, no, well, you're still going to want a layer, so add another layer. Go all the way down to your skirt, your original texture, your skirt down here. If you want your hem to appear a little bit more like a hem, you're going to cut that out with your rectangle select and copy it. You're going to go up to your new layer and paste it, anchor it, go to decor, add a bevel. See? And I only beveled it once, so it'll only be beveled here. It didn't bevel on the edges, thank God. And then you can go to your light and shadow, and you can add a real slight drop shadow. You don't want that color anymore. You're going to be dropping on a white, so you want a shade of gray, a darker shade of gray than the skirt. And then it'll drop shadow just a bit. Another trick is when you go to drop shadow, see how I made it a 2? You can go to -2, -2, and then it will drop shadow again evenly. And you're getting like a little, it's like a cuff. Yup. Yeah. So let's see. So oh, really? And you just didn't play with the GIMP and learn it? I understand, but they had. I'll tell you, when I first opened GIMP, I looked up tutorials on how to make a sticker. A sticker is the easiest thing. I went from sticker to hair. I made two horrible, ugly hairs that nobody ever bought, and then I went. It was this was me. I made some really bad stickers, two horrible hairs, and it was like in a week I was into clothes, and I was bad, and I admit it, I was bad, but I mm-mm. Nope. For a year I couldn't change an opacity. I had no clue. When I found out, I was so angry. I was very angry. I knew a whole bunch of people who dev'd. Nobody would help me. I kept asking them and asking them. They kept saying, "Oh, we know how to that you can do it, but we don't know how." So when I found out how, I was so excited. I tell this story all the time. I found out how to do it. I was so excited. I mean, I was like, "Oh, I can tell all my friends how to do it, and then they can save money and have lower KBs and because I wanted to share my good news with them." And I found out that they all knew how to do it already. They just didn't want to tell me. Yes. So I'm going to move this layer all the way up to the top. Okay. So over the top of all my skirts parts. So it's the very first layer. Now we need to remove some of this. Keep some and remove some. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on remove, and the other we'll be keeping. So, oh my gosh, I don't want to work in 50%, but let's see. I'm going to take my free select tool here. It looks like a noose. And we're going to work on this pretty carefully, so I'm going to go down straight, curve it, and I want it to be straight across when I get over the edge, okay? And then I'm just going to go down here and across. Oops, I don't even need to do that. I'm going to go to the middle. I'm going to try to get it right there in the middle. I want it to be perfectly straight. And then go back over here and meet the two, okay? I'm going to go to Edit, Clear. And then, okay, I know what I'm going to do, because I was like, now how am I going to match this? How I'm going to match this is I'm going to clear out all of this side with my little handy dandy little tool there. I'm going to take my free select. No, I'm not even going to do that. Now I'm just going to the easier way. Duplicate my layer, transform, and flip it. There's my jacket. There's my jacket. See how easy that was? Whew! And I was worried about that the whole time. How am I going to do this? Okay, so now we got to colorize our jacket. So we are going to, well, we got to merge them together. And then pick our color. And we want it, I believe this is the color. So we're going to just fill it and work from here. Now, I got to check out this little time. I think it's been about a half an hour, so let's keep an eye on the time. We're going to add a layer. Well, before we add a layer, do I want a bevel? Do I? I can try it. Add a bevel. Now this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go transform and flip vertically, repeat my bevel, transform it vertically again. Now I'm going to go to transform and flip horizontally and repeat my bevel again and flip it horizontally and repeat my bevel again. Trying to see if I can get to bevel up and down these edges. I do not want these seams beveled. Maybe that one, but not these. So I'm going to take my paintbrush, because this is, and we're going to have to fix this line too. Don't forget about your little line. This bevel right here is the back of your fit. You do want that. But this is your shoulder and your underarm, and you don't want that. So we're going to go back to our circle brush. And I'm just going to go right here and paint. I think I lost you. Are you there? Okay, I got you back then. Okay, so you see I'm painting over the top of the underarm ones. The share screen? Okay. There you go. So I'm painting over the top of the shoulders, and I'm painting over the top of the underarms. I'm just going to go all the way over to the edge. And don't worry about going outside the lines, because the only part that's going to show up anyways is whatever you had in your opacity. And actually, this way, if you go outside the line some, you can make sure that no black shows up. And then just up here, make sure that you leave that right there. Okay. Alright, so now you got that in. Go back down. I'm going to click the whole thing, go to my little handy dandy round tool. I'm going to put it on overlay and bring my overlay down some. And I am going to go across and across again. And that just gives you a little bit of a highlight and shading. Now, I'll look at it. Let's see. I'm going to go to my super light pink, add a layer. Duplicate my layer, flip it, merge it, and blur. I'm going to save this and see if they're in the right spot. I think that we need to stop the tape though. Just a second here. And don't worry about the colors, because we're going to change it. You're going to be, and that has to be taken out. But we will fix all that. So you got your little bevel that goes up the fit, and it goes around the edge, and we're going to get rid of that one, okay? Now let me stop the tape.